Verse number 2, Ulladhu Naarpadhu, 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. மும்முதலை எம்மதமும் முன்கொள்ளும் ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும் மும்முதலும் மும்முதலே என்னல் அகங்காரம் இருக்குமட்டே யான் கெட்டு தன்னிலையில் நிற்றல் தலை. He is talking about the three first things: God, the world, and the individual being. This is a vexing question. What is the world? Who am I? Who is God? What is the relationship between me and God? Does the world exist independent of me? Is spirit separate from matter? Or are they both the same? These questions have always, vexed humanity for ages. This is for unenlightened beings. For enlightened beings, there is no confusion at all. There is no question at all. He says, மும்முதலை எம்மதமும் முன்கொள்ளும். All religions accept these three things: world, God, and the individual being. ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும். There is only one thing which manifests as the three. There is only one thing which manifests as God, world, and the individual being. ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும் மும்முதலே மும்முதல் என்றும். மும்முதலும் மும்முதலே என்னும். These three are separate things. They are not one. This is another perspective. One perspective is that only one thing is there which appears as God, world, and individual being. There is another perspective which says no, God is separate, world is separate, and individual being is separate. மும்முதலை எம்மதமும் முன்கொள்ளும் ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும் மும்முதலும் மும்முதல் என்னல் அகங்காரம் இருக்குமட்டே. He says the perspective that God is one and the world is separate, individual is separate, or one only exists and it appears as all the three. All these arguments are there so long as ahangaram irukkumatte, so long as your ego is there, your ahankara is there, so long as your body identification is there, so long as this psychological sense of I is there. மும்முதலை எம்மதமும் முன்கொள்ளும் ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும் ஓர்முதலே மும்முதலாய் நிற்கும் என்றும் மும்முதலும் மும்முதலே என்னல் அகங்காரம் இருக்குமட்டே யான் கெட்டு தன்னிலையில் நிற்றல் தலை. He is giving the conclusion. யான் கெட்டு, through enquiry, self-enquiry, if the ego is dead, that's what he says. Kettu is destroyed. If the ego is destroyed, yan kettu thannilayil nitral thalai, being established in one's true nature is the chief thing, is the most important thing. Now, yes, I experience myself as an individual, this little individual. I do see the external world, elaborate physical world, universe. Now, where is God here? Who created all this? Did I create the entire existence, or somebody else created in which I find a place? Such questions keep coming to us and we try to resolve it intellectually. That is the problem. Sri Bhagavan has given the solution very, very clearly. He says, who is asking this question? He wants you to find out. Who is asking this question? I. Who is thinking about God, world, and the individual being? I. Who is that I? He says, unless you find it out, unless you find your true nature, you are never going to get a solution intellectually. You may come to some intellectual conclusions based on your study, thinking, etc. But it is not truth. The truth is revealed to us upon the subsidence of the ego, upon the, within quotes, death of the ego. This is the chief method taught to us by Sri Bhagavan. And retaining the ego, if we try to find a solution to these questions, it will go on for n number of births. We will never arrive at solution. So, psychological neutrality of an individual plays an important role in resolving this issue. Psychological neutrality, what has it got to do with realizing one's true nature? From my personal research, I understand that it is psychological neutrality that plays the key role. Because men are scripted either in low self-esteem or in catapulted psychology, which is pride. Neither is helpful. If we have too much of low self-esteem, we will naturally tend to think that I have to be separate and the superpower, the God who created the world, has to be separate. We will never accept the Advaitic position, Tattvamasi, that thou art. We will not accept. And if you are scripted in a catapulted psychology, low self-esteem sometimes catapults itself into a sort of pride. I know everything. That will not help either. Neutrality is seeing things as they are. A green color is not blue color. A blue color is not green color. A man is not a woman and a woman is not a man, and so on. So, looking at your own psychology, we need to understand if we are scripted in low self-esteem or pride. It is very important. If we bring about neutrality of psychology is what? Accepting things as they are and being open-minded and conducting an experiment. Rishis say, Tattvamasi. Sri Bhagavan said, Yapodum Ulladhu Veganma Vastuve. What always exists is that one Atma only. What about the world? Shankara has resolved it. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. What is real is only Brahman. Infinite existence, infinite consciousness, infinite bliss. That is our true nature. What about the world? It is an appearance created through the power of Maya, Brahman's power of Maya. It has created, the spirit itself has made itself into matter, and it has created a Chit Jada Granthi, the knot of the individual with the spirit, and hence we are identified with this little individual. Fundamentally, we are spirit. What exists is only spirit, and that spirit itself appears as spirit as well as matter. And through the mechanism of the knot between the individual and the spirit, it has created Chit Jada Granthi. And because of that identification with the body, we tend to be limited. So, Mummudalai Emmadamum Munkollum, Or Mudale Mummudalai Nirkum Endrum, Mummudalum Mummudale Yennal Ahangaram Irkumatte, Yan Kettu Tannilayil Nitral Thalai. All religions of the world accept the primary three, the first three, God, world and individual being. One perspective says these are different. Another perspective says one only exists which appears as this. All this is theoretical. And this perspective is there because of the ego. Bhagavan says, destroy the ego through vicharam. Find out who you are and be established in your true nature. There the answer is that Tattvam Asi. Let us think about it.